1497. And then I have the H2 marked out here. You know, you go down, look at H1, you can see we have like similar levels on H1 right in there. Put your little box for resistance. And then you can zoom out too and just see like what this resistance is in the rest of the chart. So you can see like when you pull it back, like key level, right? Like big bounces from here, you know, fails to like successfully flip and you get a big move down, comes back into it, fails to flip. Like, so it's nice to be able to zoom out if you put a little box between two levels that you like. And you could see that, you know, on the 30-minute time frame, you had a divergence right into those levels, right? So you have a reversal trigger into the levels of resistance, strong levels of resistance. So, you know, very easy to look at that and end up taking a play. It's also overbought on the 30-minute, like just super simple, right? You get the alert inside the Discord. Look here, you open up your charts, you throw your levels on, you see that you have a reversal trigger into very nice resistance and triggers from the bot, levels, blah, blah, blah. I take the trade, boom. These all played out, you know, absolutely beautiful move. Even if you just took the impulse down, which came, you know, a few hours later, 11%. So we have dot again here, you know, H2 level. So I've drawn in this H2 level here. You know, you've got your H4 level here. Again, you could just draw your little range. And if we take it here, this one also was showing you that it was overbought on the 30-minute. Then if you came into your charts, took a look on like lower time frames, you know, price tries to flip the level, does not flip the level. Obviously, you have a nice 5-minute divergence. You can see price just slowly trying to grind higher while your RSI is just grinding lower. And, you know, very simple to take that. Very easy in validation. You know, you start getting some hourly closes above here or 2-hour closes. So one way to play these levels is like H1. If you start closing hourlies above or below the H1 levels, you know, you can look to the next one or 2-hour, 4-hour, however you want to play it. Or, you know, if you come up here, you reject, but then you start to like get some consolidation above, you know, RSI starts to look a little healthier, blah, blah, blah. It's like you can start to play like the inverse where now your validation is like losing the level to the downside, all depending where the market's at too, right? Like if Bitcoin continued to trend higher, this would have happened, but Bitcoin put in a 4-hour bearish divergence. It had swept the high and volume was waning, just started slowly rolling over. And so you got the inverse of that and your invalidation is opposite. It's, you know, reclaiming up here. So yeah, that's how you can use the OBOS bot inside the Discord with the actual levels from the indicator. Does anyone have any questions on that specifically? If so, just let me know now. It'd be pretty straightforward. Indicator gives you levels. Bot will send you which coins are overbought, which coins have a divergence, blah, blah, blah. You open it up, look at the levels, execute the trade, you know, find your invalidation. Instead of just getting, you know, RSIs overbought on the 30-minute and eyeballing your own levels, and like people, obviously you can do that, but you know, finding supply and demand, eyeballing your own levels, this and that, you know, it's just going to give you extremely data-driven, concrete levels for you to play. Like just no bullshit levels in the click of a button on whatever time frame, whether you want daily, you want lower time frame levels, you know, you want to form like your little box ranges with an H4, H2, like a little resistance area, whatever it is. So it better focus more on OBOS and RSI 1 hour and 4-hour above rather than look at. So it depends how you trade. So inside of the education, like I pointed out, I have how to scalp and how to swing trade. So if you're swing trading, looking at like the 4-hour and 1 hour RSI is going to be much better, or even daily. So like if you're looking to play trades that are going to play out over weeks. You're looking at like your 4 hour divergences and your daily divergences and stuff. And then you would just look at with the bot indicator levels, like daily levels, right? So if you have like a daily level and you're a swing trader and you're waiting for that daily level to get hit, and then you get like your 4 hour bullish divergence, let's say, at the lows, and you're looking to swing trade that, there's your triggers. And it's the exact same as scalping. Like if you're using your 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour support resistance levels and you get like a 15 or 30 minute, it's the exact same execution, just different time frames and different like time horizons for holding the trade. Exact same setup. So just depends on what you are as a trader. So I'm less of a swing trader. I'm more of a day trader. So, I look at my 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour levels. I reference daily levels too with the bot just to understand where we're at. But I execute my trades on 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour support resistance levels. And then I look at like a 15 or 30 minute divergence. And so, I'm holding trades for a day up to a few days, sometimes just a few hours. Whereas like people scalping, like I said, you're holding that for days or weeks or bigger moves like that. So exactly. So then what I recommend if you're a day trader is like you're scalping. So use the 15 and 30 minute RSI and OBOS. And if you can find coins that are showing at the exact same time in OBOS and the divergence, then that's perfect. You have such a high likelihood of getting a reversal when the coin is making a divergence in overbought or oversold versus just having a divergence, above or below the extreme levels. I suggest just using, right? Because trades like this, yeah, this played out for like a big move because Bitcoin was at all-time high, whatever. But it's like you can catch these big moves, and even just to the impulse, like all of these made like a 10% move down in like, what is this, 23 to, yeah, 6, 7, 8 hours. These all made a move like that. So yeah, I would suggest go check out Inside the Education, like how to scalp, and then just use those lower time frame bots like I mentioned. And then when the indicator comes out, like I'll have full education on how to swing trade, how to scalp, how to trade ranges, how to trade trending, all the same things that I have for you guys inside education now, I'll have for the indicator as well. So we'll have like a full extensive suite on how to tie in the bots, how to trade all the different ways any normal trader would trade with the levels and stuff like that, and then all the other stuff that comes with the indicator, which we haven't even shown you guys yet, but we'll keep going. So these would be the divergence 30 minutes. So this was your OBOS alerts, this is your 30-minute divergence alerts. Exact same thing, right? You receive this 30-minute divergence alert here. This updates every 30 minutes. So I just took a screenshot of this one, and it was at the same time Bitcoin pushed all-time highs. And all you would do is like this bot's literally telling you that you have a 30-minute divergence. So like you've printed a 30-minute divergence, it's confirmed. So very good indication that we're going to get a reversal potentially around that level. Again, you come on, just literally click the indicator and it'll show you the levels. These are old ones down here. Right, so I just drew in the level, which you would have had the alert inside the Discord at, right? And you can see there's also a 2-hour level. You have like 1-hour levels in here as well. You even have a daily level right on the 4-hour, right? So this is a huge resistance. You're also sweeping this high, 4-hour, like you literally, regardless, you still SFP that, pretty sure. You get alerted that there's a 30-minute divergence. You come in, you literally chart that up. You look, at any point in here, you could look at, this is the impulse, but you have like 2-3 hours here after it's been confirmed to say, okay, I'm going to take this trade in validation, whatever, 2.5. You start breaking this div to the upside or sweeping high and trending higher. Invalidation's easy. And, what do you get? Like as soon as you start closing below here, things start looking good and you get the sell off. So that's the 30-minute alert for RSI. You have here, same thing. So as always, I've just drawn a few levels for you guys on here. You know, you have your 4-hour level here. You have your 2-hour level here. Some hourlies and stuff, some lower time frame, but I just drew these through on my little box, and this is where you would have received the alert 30-minute divergence on Fartcoin right here. You can see RSI makes a lower high right into the level, and you get the impulse down or like 9% there, and then, you know, continue selling off. AVAX, exact same thing. You're alerted that this was confirmed. You know, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have like 2.5 hours to decide if you want to position or not into this. Take a look at the levels. You know, you have your 4-hour here. It's clean too, because it'll just like, if you want your 4-hour levels, like all you have to do is just have a line. Just look at what this is, 2657. You know, put that in, just have a template saved. So I have like 4-hour, and just like that, you can copy paste, put in 2734, copy paste 20. So what's this one? 2464, 2464. Oops, 2464. Right. So it's as easy as that, and then you can like take the indicator off, and you can go down to lower time frames, and you can see which levels you want. So I just marked the relevant ones or H4s on the chart and stuff, and then you can go down to lower time frames to actually execute, right? And you can see here, like, look at this. AVAX, 1 hour. So what I'm showing you guys is that we had a 30-minute divergence here. And this is when the bot alerted you inside the Discord. You could open it up, super, super easy to see that. Well, then, like, just looking at other time frames, it's like you have a literal 3 drive as well. So however you want to draw your divs from candle to candle body or wick to wick, doesn't matter. That's still 3 drive there, I'm pretty sure. And you can see here, right? You have 1 hourly divergence into it. You make another hourly divergence into it. Just like picture perfect, right? Like such easy invalidation, because if you break those and start trending higher, Bitcoin's probably breaking higher above that all-time high and you're pushing up. But like, you know, very clear indications of a loss of momentum into very crucial level. And, you know, same thing happens. So it makes it very, very easy for you guys to just use the alerts from the Discord, whichever ones you use, it doesn't matter. For now, I'm just using the OBOS and the divergence to be able to not only have the alerts telling you that like it's either overbought or oversold, or it's printing like a potential reversal with the div, but then you get to put in your actual levels, your concrete levels that, I mean, once you have these on the charts, it'll change the way you look at charts, and you'll trust me, you'll be trusting these extremely, extremely well. You'll see just how good they work. And so it just makes it very easy for you guys to see. So let me know if you guys have any questions on the 1 hour and the OBOS. When you combine them with the indicator. It goes down, right direction. How do you know with the levels where to set your stop loss and TPs? Stop loss you can do, depending if you want to solely use the levels, you can set, you know, above the next 1 hour or 2 hour level or whatever, or just like, you know, any sort of level which you would set it above. Like if there's specific highs that, you know, if those are flipped, you're going to trend higher because of structure, whatever. you can do it that way too. Or if it flips a supply for this instance, because it's a short, you know it's going to go higher. Or if you just want to have, your standard like 3 to 4% after the divergence, whatever. So there's so many different ways to answer that question. It just depends on the trader themselves, but you can use the levels. So say you enter based on a 30-minute divergence into a 1 or 2 hour level. You could set your invalidation 1 or 2 levels higher, in that if price, flips the current level that you're looking to play as resistance and you start getting hourly closes above and it pushes to the next one, that could be your invalidation. There's multiple ways to play it, whether with the levels or just on your own. And with TPs, right? You could TP if you're taking in trades on like an hourly time frame. You could take your TPs at the next hourly level below, because you're most likely going to get a bounce, even if it's low time frame there. Whether you bounce from that lower hourly level back up to your entry, who knows? But you could take TPs like that too. What do these numbers / letters mean on the trade alert? That's just like a code for like purposes of like searching up the trade, basically. They don't actually mean anything for you guys. Which one have higher confluence, RSI or OBS? Because like right now, DYDX have oversold but don't have divergence. So essentially, it just depends, because they both have their own relevance. So if you have coin that is, in this instance, let's say overbought and a divergence, that's exactly what you want to see. That's like probability of that trade playing out goes up massively, as opposed to say you have a bearish divergence but it's not in oversold territory, so above the 70 mark on RSI. Likelihood of it playing out versus one that is oversold above 70 on the RSI and showing up in the OBOS bot is much, much lower. But at the same time, you don't need a divergence for it to play out. So a coin could just be overbought and sitting at like 85 to 90 on the RSI. You don't need a divergence. That's still extremely overbought or oversold, and you can just get a reversal from there. Or it could be like overbought at like 85, 90 on the RSI on the 30-minute, but you look at the 5-minute and you have divergences. So we had that here. Which one was? You don't have a divergence here on the RSI, and you're sitting at about 76 on the 30-minute. But if you bring that down to lower time frames to look for triggers after knowing it's overbought, right, you can clearly see that on lower time frames you have, a trigger here to enter the trade more precisely if that's what you're looking for, with the 5-minute divergence. So one isn't necessarily better than the other, but what is better than just one is having both. So having a trade being overbought or oversold plus a divergence. That makes sense. I think it should. If you guys have any other questions for the indicator and how you can play that with bots that we have, because you can do it both ways. So people who are continuation breakout traders, you use the level the same as you use anything else, whether you're flipping supply or demand or you're flipping specific structural highs or lows. It's the same thing. So you can, like, I'm showing you guys reversals right now. I'm more of a reversal trader than a breakout continuation trader, but it doesn't matter. These levels, like I said, and I'll have education for it, can be used any which way that you guys want. So like I was showing you, it's the same, right? Like I'm showing you guys all of these like reversals with 30-minute divs into the levels. It's like you can play it the opposite way if you start to flip those levels, if you break the divergences, if you start to get big surges of volume and you're breaking lower time frame structure to the upside, yada yada, you can play it the exact same. So whatever kind of trader you are, these levels are perfect. Thanks. Just now go to see 5-minute chart of DYDX. Yeah, so let's take a look. DYDX. X. Let's just see some bot levels. 575. UIDX, same as I was doing at the highs, whatever, right? You're super over, and like you're forming a divergence here. So if you do end up sweeping again and reclaiming, you know, you're going to have that, depending how far you go, but like you're super oversold here. You're going to have, it's terrible drawing. You're going to have the divergence here, right? Like you have lower time frame divergence for sure. But if you sweep again and reclaim that, unless you like impulse way down, you're going to have a very nice 30-minute divergence here. And you can see that you already have it into the level here, right? Like, so even here, you have your 15-minute divergence, whether you take it from the candle body or the wick. So on lower time frames, you already have. You already have your divergence here, right? Like you could have been in this trade, you know, whether the market bounces or not. If it does bounce, again, this is just going to be perfect, and it's going to just play out the inverse of all of these. So the bot tells you that you're oversold on the 30-minute time frame. You come in, you look at this, whether you're entering here or on the next sweep, you know, that's up to you. But like, let's take a look at the level that we have marked out and just historically look where we're at, right? Like you can just see like, and it's important to zoom out like this too and understand the levels, because it'll give you like more confidence and kind of understanding where we're at. Be able to flip there, you know, kind of deviated below, made a move, right? So it's like, okay, do we do this or do we do this? Either way, you know that this is a pivotal level. You can just see it. Like you don't even have to understand charts that well to know, like, you know, this is a very important support for us to hold. Like, what is this, like all-time low? Like, yeah. On this chart anyway, I mean, I guess. Like, you know, you lose this level, you're literally going for all-time lows, right? So you got to hold this. You know, you're oversold on the 4-hour time frame. You have extremely oversold on the 30-minute with like beautiful potential for a nice div here if you are to like, so say Bitcoin and ETH do what I was talking about and say, you know, say we just reject here, fail to flip, and we actually get that move into the lows, you know, ETH maybe, or that's ETH BTC. ETH maybe, being the shitcoin that it is, rejects here and you actually get a wick down or something, you know, like looking at this trade, this is absolutely beautiful if that happens on DYDX and you get a confirmed 30-minute divergence. You don't have to enter, you know, down here. You could enter upon the reclaim here when the divergence is confirmed and you get the alert inside the Discord to play it safer, right? You don't have to knife catch it. But you know that this, like, zooming out is a very important level. You can clearly see that on the chart, and it gives you the ability to, like, say you get the divergence and you reclaim here, right? And you end up taking the trade here. It's like your invalidation, you know, can just sit below here, because if the div is confirmed, like, you don't want to trade back below, like that, you know, your trade's most likely invalidated at that point. But like clear as day invalidation, because you cannot and do not want to lose this level if your long's going to play out. Otherwise, you know, you could short this and into these levels and God knows where else. So yeah, I mean, that's just kind of an example for you there of what this looks like when you map out your levels and how you can play it, and how you can also look at, you know, 30 minutes oversold, but you also have triggers on lower time frames to either currently be in this trade or look to enter it on another sweep. So like you were saying, right? You know, you have like your 5 and 15-minute divergence into here. If we hold, you know, you would be sitting Pico, whether it's just a scalp for higher or whatever. Like, nice nice entry there. So BTC 4 hour. Look at this, right? So currently we are holding on the 4 hour. Like this is exactly what you want to see. Like basically 1, 2, 3 tests, and we're looking to hold. Now, if you go to the hourly, you have your hourly divergence, right? Now, if we start pushing up higher and breaking this trend that I had before, start getting some closures up in here, either go here or flip this level, go back to previous all-time high, and you can just play it level to level, right? So let's say we do start pushing up from here, you get a bit of like consolidation above here and we push into here. But like you can also look for, like you can scalp these levels so nicely. Like you could have probably taken some number of triggers down here. Like if you're using candle bodies, you also have like your 5-minute div right here into the level. You could have scalped this. And now you can look for the same thing. Even if we come up here, chances are on the weekend, we're not just going to freaking blast through it. It's like you could be 5-minute divs here and you could scalp this level, come back down into like the higher low. But like I guarantee if we come up here and you start losing momentum on like lower time frames, 5 minutes, like you could scalp this. Like these levels are perfect because like this here, somewhat similar of an instance. Now, whether we go lower or not, you don't actually know, but you can scalp in between all these levels. Like we had the hourly levels before were showing, I shared in gold. It was like you had a perfect touch here, into a perfect touch here, into a perfect touch here. There was like hourly level here, hourly level here, hourly level here. If you're just day trading and you're like a low time frame trader, it's like you'll have like 1 or 5-minute triggers here, 1 or 5-minute triggers here, and you can scalp these, or you can just look simply and say like on the higher time frames, you're looking to position for potentially a move back into all-time highs, and you just use those hourly triggers that I was just showing you, right? Like you have your hourly with the 4-hour holding. 4-hour closes above, you could just most likely take a trade with like your stops below here, targeting higher. We've had now 3 touches into it, even more pushes down here. We're clearly front running these lows as we've done. You know what I mean? So you start closing this candle above this one, like it looks good. But there's so many ways to play with these levels, so I'm super excited for you guys to get access to these and start seeing how everyone's approaching them inside of the gold chat and stuff. Yeah, no problem, coffee. And then the other thing you guys wanted to touch on again was indicators. Indexes, that's what they are. So again, every day I wake up, I chart my charts with the levels from the indicator. And this gives me the areas that I want to focus on for the day, right? So here, right, just perfect hold, and you'd have this mapped out. And you can just see, like, it's so important to go back and see what these levels are. You can see reactions from these levels, right? And so if we hold, which we are, right? Like we're getting 4-hour closures above here. Every single one goes in, tests. If we start closing again above, right? It's a good indication that we're most likely heading for this level here. Again, in line with Bitcoin, you have your 1 hour, like very, very clear 1 hour div, like extremely nice 1 hour divs here with the sweep. And so, you have these mapped out when you wake up. You just check them, see if they've updated. All you do is turn your indicator on, draw on the ones that you want, and you can use them. But like the indexes, we have total 2, and total 3. Personally, I use total 2. I've just naturally always use that one, but total stands for the total market cap of crypto. So that's Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all of altcoins. Total 2 stands for it excludes Bitcoin and it has Ethereum and it has altcoins. And then there's total 3, which doesn't have Ethereum or Bitcoin, just altcoins. So you can use any number of these and they're just, so total market cap, total 3 excludes Bitcoin and Ethereum, total 2 excludes Bitcoin. And you can use these as an indicator for the overall market, right? So if you go to total, just total, this is just every single thing in crypto, except like on-chain, whatever. But like this is the entirety of crypto, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, and altcoins. And you can just have your levels on this because this is going to give you like an overall understanding of where the market's at. And so I use these every single day. The same, I wake up, update my Bitcoin and ETH chart, and then I take a look at total 2. And this gives me an understanding of, you know, I would wake up and I wouldn't be shooting blind. I would understand that like, okay, you know, we have the potential to bounce from here. If we lose this level and we don't hold above it, then, you know, we most likely sweep this, either hold here, fail to hold here, go lower to this level, whatever it is, right? It just gives you your levels. You know, maybe we keep trending down. But you know, you got to have an understanding of where we're at in the charts. And so using your indexes is a very crucial component, I find, to waking up and building yourself a daily bias on, you know, if you're waking up and you're just shorting stuff here, it's like, why? Why are you shorting unless we lose this level? And especially when you have the indicator, why are you shorting unless we start closing, you know, whatever candle time frame below the levels you're using? You know, this here, failure to do anything here is a time to short. You know, a potential bounce and loss of this level is a time to short down into the support, right? And what do you get if you shorted whatever 2 days ago? Trending down, maybe you do lose this level and you're short. You know, you're shorting here on a failure to flip the level. It just, or you're longing here, right? Play it from here to here, and so on and so forth. But it gives you the ability to understand where we are in the market. And so I use total 2 personally, and I just wake up every day, chart my levels on it, and you don't even need the indicator levels, right? You can just chart it however you chart. Like just super simply, you can see that we have like a support here, you know. If we hold here, you're going here, and it's the same as the levels, right? But the levels are going to give you more data-driven, mathematical, like concrete levels to play. But however you want to use these charts, you can understand that, like, you know, we're in a bounce zone, whatever it may be. So the indicator, though, is going to make you guys see things crystal clear. So the first thing I check is total 2 in terms of indexes, and then I also look at Bitcoin dominance. And I made a post inside of the Discord on this, on when, recently, kind of when you can expect alts to run really, really hard and when you should be more risk off. And it goes in line with this chart here. I think I still have it. Yeah. So I'll just briefly explain. But like BTC, this is how BTC moves, especially in this entire move up. You have a range consolidation, and then you get a trending move up. You have a range consolidation, you break, BTC trends up. Now, after BTC trends up, because while BTC is trending up, you're going to have your Bitcoin dominance also trending up, because Bitcoin is king when it moves. It sucks all the liquidity from the market to make these moves. When it enters a period of ranging like this, that's where you get money rotating from Bitcoin into Ethereum into altcoins. So this green line here correlates with, I'll just add this, hold on. So this green line here correlates with this green line here. And this is when Bitcoin dominance, this is the chart that shows you the dominance of money flowing into Bitcoin. So when this is super high, So lots of people will always be like, why are my altcoins not moving while Bitcoin's moving? That's because Bitcoin dominance chart is up. And that means that money's flowing out of Ethereum, out of altcoins, out of everything in the market into Bitcoin to make that move. And so this green line here corresponds with this green line here. You have your trending move up, and then Bitcoin enters into a period of ranging. Now, using Bitcoin dominance, you can see after the parabolic move up, or whatever, the trending move up, Bitcoin dominance starts to break down. It starts to lose the 50 mark on RSI. This leg here where dominance was going down, this is where alts were going 10, 20, 50, 100%. Like this period here from May 8th to like May 15th was insanity for altcoins. And it's the first time we've really had a move lower on Bitcoin dominance in quite some time. Now, if we look at the Bitcoin chart, as Bitcoin ranges out, alts and ETH go crazy in here. But now Bitcoin dominance starts to break back up at this red line. What does that mean? Go to dominance here. We had bounced from support, and now Bitcoin dominance was breaking back above the 50 mark on the RSI. So alts started to suffer here. Alts were taking a hit. They were not moving. Any move down on Bitcoin, alts got destroyed. Any move up on Bitcoin, alts didn't move that much. And so understanding this chart is crucial. And you go to here, this is what started to happen is from here, Bitcoin started to build back liquidity for that push into all-time high. And so alts went crazy here, but then Bitcoin starts stealing the show again here. And so altcoins start doing shitty. You could be shorting altcoins and looking for a long on Bitcoin here, right? And so it's important to understand this BTC daily on this chart here, or just on like normal BTC chart. Looking at daily levels is super. Oh yeah, so you can see like we flipped this level. I remember this level flip too. So the daily levels on the indicator are so crucial because I remember when we flipped this level, this was like such a crucial point in the market for us to like trend back above, 93 area. And you can see we got above here and we literally never closed a daily below this level. And these levels will move and update because these levels are pulling historical data, but also referencing recent data. So it's like these levels are just, they're unmatched. It's also updating with current time PA on all time frames. And so you're always getting the most relevant and recent levels from both right now and close to this time frame PA, but also historic PA from years ago. So it's like, it's just unmatched. But like you can see, we never closed a daily below this level, right? Like that's extremely strong. It gives you the indication that if you start closing below this level, just like on the hourly time frame, you can expect the next level. We literally never closed. You get 3 closes above. That gives you clear invalidation too, that if you wanted to potentially long Bitcoin to the next level, so long as you don't start closing dailies below this level, you look good. Like things look great. And you can see we push, we come up, impulse up through the next level, and then we start struggling with this level. And this is that range that I'm talking about. So after we push up through here into this level, we can see that from this point on, after we make the impulse up, Bitcoin starts to, the liquidity flows from Bitcoin into ETH and alts, and they went absolutely nuts. But now here, this is where Bitcoin started to steal liquidity back. And so if you use your indexes, I tied that in with understanding that like Bitcoin dominance, the same as it did here, and alts went crazy, reclaimed the 50 mark here on the exact same, this is the same point on the Bitcoin chart. And it started trending up. And that tells me that Bitcoin is now building more liquidity inside of this range. And altcoins are going to suffer because Bitcoin's building for this move. And so Bitcoin dominance ramps up. Your alts were performing like shit in here. They were taking massive hits every time Bitcoin would go down. And at this point, you're looking to build a Bitcoin long. You're understanding also that, like, if we look at the 4-hour levels, you know, you're holding above this level, you continue, like this here was like the perfect long on Bitcoin, and our bot caught this, I'm pretty sure. You swept these lows out. I think our bot caught like ETH, Bitcoin, and a ton of alts right here. And you can see that when Bitcoin dominance is going up, you want to build a position on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to do what Bitcoin does, right? But alts are going to suffer. If Bitcoin goes up, alts do not move that much. Everyone's like, well, why are my alts not going up when Bitcoin is? That's because dominance is cooking higher. All the money's flowing into Bitcoin right here. And so I mapped this out the other day, and we had gotten a break, and so I was potentially expecting, you know, another move on alts. And this is where I was saying, like, over the weekend I was hopeful that we were going to have some nice alt movements and stuff, and that was at this point where ETH had broken out here, but it didn't even sweep, you know, this liquidity here, and just died off. So it was extremely short-lived. Like, it was like this period here, alts started making fat moves, ETH was going up, Bitcoin dominance was nuking, looked like we were going to have a great weekend, and then as ETH does, as soon as it pumps, for the most part, it just shits the bed until it actually, you know, until we actually lose that level. It's just here, alts have been taking a beating. You can look at any of the alt charts. Like, it's just been down, right? And you can see that Bitcoin dominance again has reclaimed this level. So this was like a false read, not a false read specifically, but you know, you basically would just put like reclaimed here, and so, you know, short-lived. But this is just what I do with my indexes to understand. This index specifically is going to tell me when altcoins are going to rally in ETH, and this is when I want to focus on them. And this is also going to tell me when I want to focus on Bitcoin and potentially shorting altcoins or building a Bitcoin position. And then there's also ETH BTC, which is just the inverse, right? This is the dominance of Ethereum. So when Bitcoin dominance goes down, ETH BTC will go up. And so, you know, I just have this charted out as well because I want to correlate when Ethereum is getting strength in the market, because that means altcoins will. And inversely, Bitcoin dominance will be going down at the same time this is going up. And so it's just important. I think personally, not everyone uses indexes, but it gives me a very clear picture of the overall market. And I'll take 10, 15 minutes each day to just look at total. I'll look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'll look at like Bitcoin dominance, and I'll say, like, you know, is dominance really strong? If dominance is really strong and we're at levels on total 2, like up here or something, it's like, you know, not really looking to push on longs. We come down here and say like Bitcoin dominance was dying off for whatever reason. It's like, okay, well, this looks great. And even just taking the time to like see those 1 hour divs into levels, which you guys soon will be able to do that, understanding that, like Native said, Bitcoin is holding a 4 hour and a daily level. Like, you know, we are holding this 4 hour, we're holding this daily level. Shorting here is not the move, you know, maybe shorting here, got a 4 hour level. Well, so it's previous all-time high, right? So that's a big level. So it's like, you know, if anything, you're not looking to short here. This will be a tough level, and maybe you look to short there, or you just wait for the flip, whatever. But here, no, definitely not. Even like I mentioned before, if we hold here, you can, it's the weekend, you can look for lower time frame divs and stuff here, and it's like, yeah, maybe you do get the higher low, but also maybe you don't. Maybe you get to the move down into here, but you just play it level to level, and it becomes very easy with the indicator. So I know we keep saying soon, but like, you guys will have access to this soon. You'll have an extensive suite of education to go along with it, and you know, everyone in Gold Chat's going to be using this together, finding new ways to use it, new things to look at and stuff. So it's going to be great. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much covers everything I wanted to go over. If anyone else has any questions, if anything was unclear, if anyone wanted to see something, just let me know. bot is insane for is, or this indicator is insane for, is it's going to help you guys with ranges so much. I know people struggle with ranges a lot, with identifying ranges. And like 4-hour levels, I find, are absolutely perfect for ranges. So you can see here, we had the range before the move up. Same as my other chart I showed you guys. Here, same thing, range, but it's going to give you those levels. And like lower time frames, when you're ranging, like Native's saying, levels do eventually break, but like the amount of times you could have shorted here, longed here, alts, Bitcoin included, with different triggers, blah, 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 even bot alerts. Like you can make so much money once you can identify the range and play it as so. Same with here. You know, you had your big move up. You then find a range. And in this range, so many short opportunities here, so many long opportunities here. And even when you break this, you know, you go test the next level down here. It's probably lower time frame levels here. Like it's just, you guys are going to view charts completely differently. And it's going to help you identify not only when we're ranging, but when we're trending. Like just, it's insane when you look at this, right? Like you push up into that next level, you sweep this high, you lose, well, you don't lose, but you like reject, and you come down into the next level. You sweep here. You know how many people got chopped up in this crazy price action? Whereas like you could have just played understanding that we closed 4 hours below here, swept out this high, came down here, looked for a long at range lows, swept out here, got that move higher. Once again, come, you test this level, but now this time you flip this level. You come, you consolidate now, start closing above this level, push up, right? Like you're just going to be able to view the charts on such a different wavelength than you do now. Like it's insane. So I can't wait for everyone to have access to this, be able to understand ranges, be able to play trending price action, because you can see where the levels are as it goes up and on and on. Probably is, yeah. I would assume inversely. USDT, did we sweep this high? Yeah, like that's just beautiful. You know, we start closing back below here. Candle, like this first candle here where it looks like it's pushing up, like this looks good. Like if you were looking at this chart as a long, like this sweep here and candle close above looks great. But, you know, you come and you even sweep this now. And now you start closing below here. This looks great to come back down towards this level, right? Come take this low. Whatever happens here, who knows? But start closing below here, inversely of how Bitcoin's starting to look good on its 4-hour level. Looks great. Yeah, so what you guys see there is also what our bot is going to have. So you see that RSI plus OBV. So we're going to be showing you guys in real time not only the levels, but you're going to be able to see RSI and OBV divs right on your charts. So like it'll work like this too. The same way that I'm drawing, like, so you can see here even, like there probably was divergences here. But like also the way that I'm drawing on my levels, right? Here, for instance. So the way I'm adding my levels, I think there was divergence here. Let's go. Yeah, these were divergences. So the same way you guys are going to get bot alerts in here in the Discord. Like this here, if you have your 4-hour level just drawn on, but you go to your 30-minute, you'd have the 30-minute flashing that there is a divergence. So if you want to play 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour levels, and you have them drawn on your charts, just like I do, just like this, you can then execute on whatever, 15-minute, 30-minute. So just for example's sake, you have your 4-hour, but you go to the 1-hour and just say Bitcoin like is flashing the 1-hour div. This is like a wick div, so I don't know, because we do candle closure, it's like the technical proper way to do divs, but just for example's sake, right? You could just have your 4-hour and your daily levels, and if you want to execute, you're just scrolling through 20 or 30, 15, 1 hour, and you have divergences there. Same, you would have had it on all these. The indicator just shows you there's a divergence. You have your levels. Like it makes it like basically buy, sell, right? Like so simple for you guys. Even DYDX, it's like, you know, you have your levels. Indicator just would say like, okay, well, you have your divergence on the lower time frame because you just have them drawn. So it's just going to make it so insanely easy for you guys to just, it's essentially a buy and sell. You have your level and you have a divergence. It's like, okay, well, what more do you need? Place your invalidation and, you know, off you go. But yeah. So, I mean, how long have we been on? Yeah, almost an hour and a half. I'd say that was a pretty good stream. Showed you guys how you can use the bot alerts with our indicator, how you can use your indexes to build a daily bias and just make decisions, as well as the sneak peek of the divergence and OBB alerts, which is just one of many other things on there as well. That is going to be there for you guys. So see if anyone has any final questions or anything that didn't make sense they want me to cover, and I'll go over again. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this one up. No, nothing. All right. Stream, guys. Appreciate you coming out on a Sunday. Yeah, no problem slapping. Like I said, appreciate you guys coming out. This is, I don't know if this is recorded. I don't know if Cypress is here. Cypress is here. So this should be recorded and get that uploaded. Like I said, I have like, I don't even know, 3 or 4 of the other ones from the past that I got to get uploaded into recordings. So I'll try and get all that today and in there for you guys and organized. And then indicator coming very soon. We've been saying that for a while, but hopefully next month we have this out for you guys. And like I said, it's going to change the way you view charts. So rest of your Sunday, guys. Don't push it too hard on these markets. Just wait for, well, long weekend. It's annoying, but anyways, I'll see you guys later. Enjoy your Sunday and take care.